the discovery, the universe had always been full of mysteries. But nothing quite prepared Captain Marcus Chen for what his crew would discover in the dark expanse between the Sagittarius and Perseus arms of the galaxy. It started with numbers that didn't make sense. Gravitational readings that suggested something massive existed, where every telescope showed only empty space. Marcus stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, humanity's most advanced deep space exploration vessel, watching his science officer run the calculations for the 5th time. Lieutenant Sarah Volkov's fingers danced across her holographic displays, her brow furrowed in concentration. Behind her, the vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly through the viewport, stars scattered like diamonds on black velvet. "Captain, I've checked everything multiple times," Sarah finally said, turning to face him. "There's definitely something there. Something with the mass of approximately 300 solar systems, but it's not showing up on any of our sensors except gravitational detection." Marcus rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Humanity had been exploring space for nearly 2 centuries now, had encountered 12 different alien species, and thought they understood the basic rules of the cosmos. But this was something new. "How far are we from the anomaly?" "At current speed, about 6 hours," replied Navigator James Park from his station. "But Captain, I should mention that the closer we get, the more our instruments are picking up some kind of low-frequency signal. It's almost like something is singing." The bridge fell silent. In space, sound didn't travel, but electromagnetic signals could carry patterns that, when translated, resembled music. Marcus had heard of pulsars creating rhythmic signals, but this was different. This had structure, purpose, almost like it was designed to be found. "Take us in, Mr. Park, nice and slow. Sarah, I want every sensor we have trained on that location. And get me Commander Torres from engineering. If this is some kind of cloaked object, I want to know how it works." As the horizon approached the coordinates, the crew watched their instruments with growing amazement. The gravitational field grew stronger, more complex, revealing intricate patterns that suggested artificial design rather than natural formation. The singing Sarah had detected grew louder, resolving into distinct harmonics that seemed to pulse with mathematical precision. Then, at exactly 1 astronomical unit from the anomaly's center, everything changed. The empty space in front of them shimmered like heat waves rising from hot asphalt. Reality seemed to bend and twist, and then, as if someone had pulled away an invisible curtain, it appeared. The entire bridge crew gasped in unison. Before them hung a sphere of impossible size, its surface a dark crystalline material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. It was massive beyond comprehension, large enough to encompass an entire star system. Geometric patterns covered its surface, glowing with a faint blue luminescence that pulsed in rhythm with the signal they'd been detecting. "Mother of God," whispered James. "Is that what I think it is?" Sarah's voice was barely audible. "A Dyson Sphere. An actual functioning Dyson Sphere." Marcus felt his heart racing. Humanity had theorized about such structures for centuries, massive shells built around stars to harness their entire energy output. It was the hallmark of a Type II civilization on the Kardashev scale, something humanity was still centuries away from achieving. Yet here one was, hidden in plain sight in the middle of nowhere. "Captain," Communications Officer Lisa Zhang called out, her voice tight with excitement. "The sphere is transmitting. It's in multiple languages, including English. On speakers," Marcus ordered. The bridge filled with a voice that seemed neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It spoke with perfect clarity, each word carefully measured. "Greetings, travelers. You have found the silent beacon. Your species has achieved the minimum requirements for contact. Approach is permitted, but be warned. We sleep within because we must. Do not wake us unless you can end our nightmare." The message repeated 3 times, then fell silent. The crew exchanged uncertain glances. "Minimum requirements?" Sarah muttered. "What requirements?" Commander Rosa Torres had arrived on the bridge during the message. Her engineering expertise immediately focused on the sphere. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy readings from inside, but they're all in standby mode. It's like the entire structure is on life support, maintaining just enough power to keep basic systems running." Marcus made a decision that would change humanity's place in the universe forever. "We're going in. If someone built this thing and left it for others to find, then we need to know why." "Lisa, transmit a message. Tell them we're the United Earthship Horizon, representing humanity, and we accept their invitation." As Lisa sent the message, a section of the sphere's surface began to glow brighter. The crystalline material became transparent, revealing an entrance large enough for their ship. It was an invitation, but it felt like stepping into the mouth of a sleeping giant. "Mr. Park, take us in." 1/4 impulse. Everyone stay alert. The horizon moved forward slowly, cautiously into the opening. As they passed through what seemed to be an energy barrier, their sensors came alive with new data. The interior of the sphere was hollow, and at its center burned a star, but not just any star. It was perfectly regulated, its output controlled and channeled through a network of collection arrays that defied human understanding. But what truly took their breath away was what surrounded the star. Thousands upon thousands of structures floated in perfect formation, each one the size of a small moon. Cities, Marcus realized. Entire cities frozen in time, their lights dim but not extinguished. "Life signs?" he asked quietly. Sarah checked her readings twice before answering. "Billions, Captain. Maybe trillions. But they're all in some kind of stasis. Their biological signatures are so faint I almost missed them." Before anyone could respond, a smaller craft emerged from one of the city structures. It was elegant in its simplicity, a silver ovoid that moved without any visible propulsion. It approached the horizon and stopped just outside their shield perimeter. A new message came through, this time with video. The screen showed a figure that was humanoid but clearly not human. It had elongated limbs, skin that seemed to shift between different metallic hues, and eyes that held an ancient weariness. When it spoke, its mouth didn't move, but the words came through clearly. "I am the Guardian, the last waking member of the Ashanti Collective. We built this sanctuary to escape a horror of our own making. For 10,000 of your years, I have waited for a species with the right combination of creativity and courage to help us. Many have found us, but all have fled when they learned the truth. You are the 43rd species to enter our domain. Will you be the first to stay?" Marcus stood up from his captain's chair. "Guardian, I'm Captain Marcus Chen of Earth. We're explorers and problem solvers by nature. Tell us what happened here. What horror did you create?" The Guardian's expression somehow conveyed deep sadness despite its alien features. "We achieved perfection, Captain Chen. We eliminated all disease, all conflict, all uncertainty from our existence. We thought we were ascending to a higher form of civilization. Instead, we created our own extinction." "I don't understand," Marcus said. "We removed the chaos from our lives, the randomness, the unpredictability. In doing so, we also removed growth, adaptation, and evolution. Our species began to stagnate, then decline. Our children were born without creativity, without the spark of innovation. We were dying a slow death of perfect order." The Guardian gestured to the countless city structures around them. "So we built this sphere, hidden it from the universe, and put ourselves into stasis while I searched for a solution. We needed to find a species that had achieved space travel while maintaining their chaotic nature, their ability to thrive in uncertainty. Your kind, Captain Chen, still embraces the unknown. You still take risks. You still dream impossible dreams." Sarah spoke up from her station. "You want us to teach you how to be imperfect again?" "Not teach," the Guardian corrected. "Save. We have developed a consciousness transfer technology. We can share experiences, memories, the very essence of what makes a species unique. But it only works with willing participants, and the process is irreversible for both sides. Those who share with us will be changed, elevated to a new form of existence that combines both our kinds." The bridge was silent as the magnitude of the proposition sank in. This wasn't just first contact. It was an invitation to merge with a Type 2 civilization, to jump humanity forward by millennia in technological advancement, but at the cost of forever changing what it meant to be human. Marcus looked around at his crew, seeing the same mixture of fear and excitement in their eyes that he felt in his heart. "Guardian, we need time to consider this, and we need to consult with Earth. Time we have in abundance, Captain. But know this, our stasis cannot last forever. Within one of your years, our systems will fail, and the Ashanti Collective will pass into history. The choice is yours. Help us rediscover what we lost, or let us fade away with our perfect, sterile dream." The awakening 3 months had passed since the Horizon's discovery of the Dyson Sphere. Earth's governments had debated, scientists had theorized, and philosophers had pondered the implications. In the end, humanity did what it had always done when faced with the impossible. It chose to leap forward into the unknown. Captain Marcus Chen stood in the sphere's central command center, a structure that floated impossibly close to the controlled star at its heart. Beside him, the Guardian monitored displays showing the status of billions of sleeping Ashanti. Around them, a team of Earth's finest minds prepared for the most ambitious undertaking in human history. "The volunteers are ready," Dr. Jennifer Hayes, Earth's lead xenobiologist, reported. She had spent the last month studying Ashanti biology and technology, preparing for this moment. 500 humans, all screened and prepared for the consciousness bridge. Marcus nodded. 500 people who had volunteered to be the first to merge consciousness with an alien species. They weren't soldiers or diplomats, but artists, musicians, writers, extreme athletes, and even a few former criminals who had reformed, people who embodied humanity's chaotic spirit, its ability to find beauty in disorder and strength in adversity. "Guardian," Marcus said, turning to the alien figure who had become strangely familiar over the past months. "Are your people prepared for this?" "What we're about to share with them. It includes our darkest moments as well as our brightest." The Guardian's metallic skin shifted to a warmer hue. Something Marcus had learned indicated contemplation. "Captain, we have lived in the light so long that we have forgotten shadows exist. We need both. Your wars, your conflicts, your struggles, these are not flaws to us. They are the crucible in which strength is forged." Lieutenant Sarah Volkov called out from her modified station, now integrated with Ashanti technology. "Energy levels are optimal. The star's output has been adjusted to provide the necessary power. We can begin whenever you're ready." Marcus opened a channel to the volunteer chambers spread throughout the sphere. "This is Captain Chen to all volunteers. What you're about to do will change you forever. You'll become something new. Something that has never existed before in the universe. If anyone wants to withdraw, now is the time." Not a single person stepped back. "Very well. Guardian, begin the awakening." The sphere's ambient lighting shifted to a deep purple, and a low harmonic tone began to resonate through the structure. In the volunteer chambers, humans lay in specially designed pods that would facilitate the consciousness bridge. Each pod was connected to a corresponding Ashanti stasis unit, creating pairs that would merge their essential beings. The first to undergo the process was Dr. Maria Santos, a neuroscientist who had also been a professional dancer before joining the space program. As the connection established, her body was surrounded by a corona of light that pulsed between human warmth and Ashanti crystalline beauty. Through the monitoring systems, they could observe the process in real time. Maria's chaotic human neural patterns began to interweave with the perfectly ordered Ashanti consciousness she was paired with. It was like watching two different forms of music, jazz and classical, merge into something entirely new. Maria's voice came through the speakers, but it was different, richer somehow. "I can feel them. Their memories, their knowledge. 10,000 years of perfect peace, but also emptiness. They're so grateful for the confusion I bring, the uncertainty. It's like I'm teaching them to dance again." One by one, the other volunteers underwent the transformation. Each pairing was unique, creating different harmonies as human chaos met Ashanti order. An extreme sports athlete brought the thrill of risk to a species that had eliminated all danger. A jazz musician introduced improvisation to minds that had forgotten spontaneity. A reformed thief shared the concepts of redemption and second chances with beings who had never known failure. But the process wasn't one-sided. The humans were gaining too. Advanced mathematical concepts became as clear as breathing. Technologies that would have taken humanity millennia to develop were suddenly understood intuitively. The merged beings could perceive dimensions beyond the standard four, could manipulate matter at the quantum level with thought alone. As more Ashanti awakened through their human partners, the sphere itself began to change. The dim city structures started to glow with new light, but it wasn't the cold, uniform illumination of before. It was varied, colorful, some areas bright and others deliberately shadowed. Music began to echo through the sphere. Not the mathematical harmonics of the Ashanti, but something new that incorporated human creativity with alien precision. "Captain," the Guardian said, and Marcus was surprised to hear emotion in its voice for the first time. "Something unexpected is happening." On the main display, they could see the merged beings beginning to create. Not just art or technology, but combinations of both. Sculptures that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Songs that could heal physical wounds. Paintings that told stories across time. It was creativity elevated to a cosmic scale. Dr. Hayes was monitoring the biological readings with growing excitement. Captain, the merged beings aren't just combining traits. They're evolving, becoming something genuinely new. Their DNA is rewriting itself in real time, creating a hybrid species that maintains the best of both races. Suddenly, one of the merged beings appeared in the command center, not through a door, but simply manifesting from quantum probability. It was Maria Santos, but transformed. Her skin had a subtle crystalline quality that caught and refracted light. Her eyes held depths that seemed to contain galaxies, and when she moved, she left brief after images that showed possible alternate movements she might have made. "Captain Chen," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that touched something deep in Marcus's brain. "We need to show you something." She gestured, and the command center's walls became transparent, revealing the full scope of what was happening in the sphere. Millions of Ashanti were now awakening, not through direct merger but through proximity to those who had merged. The chaos, the beautiful disorder of humanity, was spreading like a beneficial virus through their collective consciousness. "They're remembering," Maria explained, "not just learning from us, but remembering what they used to be before they achieved their sterile perfection. We're not changing them. We're helping them rediscover themselves." The Guardian stepped forward, and for the first time Marcus saw it smile. "You have given us the greatest gift possible, Captain. Not just survival, but rebirth. The Ashanti Collective is no more. We are something new now. What will you call yourselves?" Marcus asked. Maria and the Guardian exchanged glances, and in that moment, Marcus saw perfect understanding between human and alien order and chaos, ancient wisdom and young ambition. "The awakened," they said in unison. Over the following days, the transformation continued. Not all humans chose to merge. That had never been the requirement. But those who did became bridges between the species, ambassadors of a new form of existence. The awakened shared their technology freely with humanity, not as payment but as gratitude. Energy sources that could power entire planets, medical technology that could extend life indefinitely, faster than light travel that made the galaxy suddenly seem small. But more importantly, they shared a philosophy. The universe needed both order and chaos, structure and spontaneity, wisdom and innocence. Too much of either led to stagnation or destruction. The balance between them was where life truly thrived. A week after the mass awakening, Marcus stood with the Guardian and Maria on an observation deck, looking out at the transformed sphere. Where once there had been uniform city structures, now there was diversity. Some areas maintained the crystalline perfection of the Ashanti. Others had been redesigned with human aesthetics, curves instead of angles, asymmetry instead of balance. And in between were the fusion areas where both styles met and created something unprecedented. "What happens now?" Marcus asked. The Guardian's form had changed too. It was less rigid, more fluid, occasionally shifting between states as if it couldn't decide which form it preferred. And that indecision itself was a victory. "Now we explore. For 10,000 years we hid from the universe, afraid of contamination. But contamination, we've learned, is just another word for growth," Maria added. "The awakened want to travel with humanity, to meet other species, to share what we've learned. The galaxy is full of civilizations at different stages, some ascending toward sterile perfection, others struggling with destructive chaos. We can help them find balance." Marcus felt a weight lift from his shoulders. When he had first entered the sphere, he had feared humanity might be judged unworthy, too primitive or chaotic for an advanced civilization. Instead, their supposed flaws had been their greatest strength. "The universe just got a lot more interesting," he said. As if in response, the controlled star at the sphere's heart pulsed with a new rhythm, not the mechanical precision of before, but something that seemed almost like a heartbeat. The Dyson Sphere was no longer a monument to perfect engineering. It had become something more, a symbol of evolution, of the beautiful complexity that emerged when different forms of consciousness chose to grow together rather than apart. The silent beacon had become a chorus of voices, and its song was spreading across the stars, carrying a message of hope, transformation, and the power of embracing imperfection. Humanity had not just discovered a Dyson sphere, they had helped it discover itself. And in the vast tapestry of the cosmos, where countless civilizations rose and fell, the partnership between humanity and the awakened would be remembered as the moment when two species chose to become something greater than the sum of their parts. They had proven that sometimes the greatest strength wasn't in achieving perfection, but in having the courage to remain beautifully chaotically, wonderfully imperfect. The sphere's transformation was complete, but the journey had just begun. As Earth's governments prepared to send more ships, as other alien civilizations detected the sphere's new signals and came to investigate, as the merged beings continued to evolve and create, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. Captain Marcus Chen smiled as he received a transmission from Earth. They were sending not warships or science vessels, but ships full of artists, teachers, philosophers, and dreamers. Humanity was doing what it did best, jumping into the unknown with both feet, ready to learn, to teach, and to transform. The Dyson Sphere had been built to preserve a dying civilization. Thanks to humanity's intervention, it had become a beacon of rebirth, a testament to the power of diversity and the strength found in embracing chaos. The Ashanti had guarded their sphere for millennia, waiting for someone to unlock its true potential. Humanity had not just unlocked it, they had set it free. As the horizon prepared to depart, carrying news of the transformation back to Earth, Marcus took one last look at the sphere. It pulsed with life, with possibility, with the promise of a future where perfection and chaos danced together in eternal, beautiful balance. "Take us home, Mr. Park," he ordered. "We have a lot to prepare for." The ship turned toward Earth, leaving behind not a silent monument to fear, but a living testament to courage. The galaxy had guarded the Dyson Sphere for 10,000 years, but it had taken humanity's unique spirit to unlock its true power, the power of transformation, of growth, and of the eternal dance between order and chaos. The stars seemed brighter as they traveled home, as if the universe itself approved of what had transpired, and perhaps it did. For in the grand cosmic story, a new chapter had begun, written not in the language of perfection or chaos alone, but in the beautiful, complex harmony that emerged when both learned to sing together.